Welcome to the Rabbit's Black podcast with Markus Schulz, transmitting from Los Angeles in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome everyone to Rabbit's Black Spotlight Artist of the Month podcast. And in this very special edition for February 2012, we have with us one of the world's best DJs. We have Markus Schulz. How you doing, Markus?
Oh, fantastic. Nice to be on with you.
We're happy to have you. No Super Bowl hangover today?
No, a little bit bummed out. I mean, I'm a huge Miami Dolphins fan, and the last time that the Giants and the Patriots played, I was rooting for the Giants because, I want Miami's the only perfect team ever, so I was rooting for the Giants. But this time around, I was kind of rooting for the Patriots because, I like Brady. He's a good guy, and I was hoping that they'd win. So, but it was a good game. A little bit ugly at times, but a good game and no hangover at all.
You have a lot of work to do. You got the Los Angeles 2012 compilation release and some very special shows coming up in L.A. for that as well. We'll get there in a second, but first I think there's some congrats to do. I think you were just announced that you're going to be returning to Marquee in Las Vegas for 2012, correct?
Yeah, that's we've built up such a great story in that room. One of the things is that trance is kind of like not in vogue anymore, and I think trance needed to kind of go through a reinvention stage. And one of the things when we started the residency at Marquee is that was going to be one of the rooms where I really tried to push the reinvention of the trance sound, and it's just been an absolute huge success. And to come on for another year is it's great. It's like we're going to continue telling the story, continue reinventing the sound, progressing it, and I'm just really happy to be back.
Especially the thing that they got going there, they have the nightclub and the day club. Is there a different approach when you're doing a pool party set opposed to the nightclub set?
Absolutely. When I play the pool parties, I'm not afraid to drop tracks like Benny Benassi, Beautiful, something like that, because it fits the atmosphere of the day. And I guess that's the difference between a straight up producer who DJs and someone who started off as a DJ and then moved into the production. I'm not afraid. I'll go into an atmosphere like that, and I feel what it needs, and at a day party out by the pool with beautiful bikinis and everything, we got to play a little different than in a nightclub where people are just like out for a great time, just kind of it's late night, it's dark, and the atmosphere is different. So a proper DJ, I think, will adapt his sound a little bit, and that's kind of what I do at the day club and at the nightclub.
Yeah, and that's kind of a good lead-in. I mean, there's a lot of people now that are listening to electronic dance music in passing, or they're hearing it on the radio. I mean, here in LA, dubstep is really kind of becoming the hot new genre. And not to kind of rag on anything in the DJ rankings, but some of the guys ahead of you are less of DJs, more producers, maybe even crossover artists at this point. For some of our readers who may not be familiar with your sound, would you make a genre for what you do? Is it trance?
Well, I think that my sound has been always very unique. I came up when trance was just like the big thing. And, I grew up, I've been influenced by like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and old classic rock. So when I came along, I kind of did this deeper, darker, more progressive form of trance. While everybody else was doing like the uplifting stuff. So I think that's kind of always been my style, the difference between me. People kind of say that I'm like the Pink Floyd of trance, whereas the other trance guys are more I don't know, some of the trance guys are even like hair bands, kind of definitely more commercial. So, and with that, with my sound comes longevity. Trance may not be the in vogue style at the moment, but the progressive sound will never go out of style because it's just like, it's a little bit more forward thinking, a lot more thought provoking, and I think it's just something that you can listen to in your not just in a club or at a rave, but the stuff that I do is stuff that translates well over the radio as well.
Of course. Yeah, don't be surprised if you're going to see the Pink Floyd of trance shirts at Marquee this summer. So we might have to get some of those made.
Yeah.
So on to Los Angeles 2012 compilation. Every year you release a compilation album as part of this ongoing series. And a few months ago, we saw the YouTube video. You announced Los Angeles, and that's going to be your inspiration for the 2012 album. Guess the obvious question is why LA?
Well, LA is, first of all, dance music has blown up huge in the United States, and it's probably one of the biggest scenes in the world right now. And I'm just really, really proud that, the United States has, joined with what Europe has been doing for years and has blown up even bigger, And I think the epicenter of the whole thing is Los Angeles. I mean, the scene in Los Angeles is like none other in the United States nor in the world. And I've had so many great shows in LA just leading up to last year, all the carnivals, all the festivals there, Monster Massive, Electric Daisy Carnival. I mean, these are some legendary, groundbreaking events that really just kind of like made this whole thing blow up like this. And then last year I started the residency at Avalon and played extended solo sets there, 6, 7, 8 hours, and it was just, to me it was just exactly what I needed at the time, because when you play the festivals, and I play festivals all over the world, you play your 1 hour 90-minute set, and it's like your hits. You go out there, you just bang it out, you drop all your biggest tunes, all your biggest productions, and when you do a 6, 7 hour set, you're able to really take people on a journey. Start off at one spot, go to another, and then at the end of the night, you're down the rabbit hole and doing something more twisted. And I just love doing those kind of things, and that was really inspirational last year when I did the long shows in LA. So that's the reasons why Los Angeles was such an obvious choice for 2012.
Yeah, and I think for someone like you, you're right, going down that rabbit hole, getting, the proper amount of time to really get your sound and kind of your vision out there is extremely important. And, like we were saying with some of these other DJs, they can probably hammer out a 1 hour set and get the point across. But I think for you, there's an experience that's in there that kind of needs to be have its full time to really flesh out.
Yeah, and, like I said, it goes back to, there's producers who had a big hits, and then they got to learn how to DJ, and then there's the DJs who learned how to produce and took that route. And that's one of the things about me being a DJ first is I enjoy the art of the DJing as well. I mean, love producing. I'm that's taken up most of my time now is production, but the art of DJing is something that I hope never dies, and the art of DJing is something that I hope is never forgotten, because as this scene gets bigger and bigger and gets more and more commercial, that's my biggest fear, is the actual art of the DJ form gets lost.
And that is something that's going to be, coming up here. I mean, you're right. I mean, in the United States, just alone, it's completely blown up. Even Vegas, a place that, was always friendly to that sound, it's just completely changed. And you see someone like Marquee, who had the opportunity to come in and say, hey, look, here's what Wet Republic did. Here's what Tao Beach did. Let's do that and do it better, because we know now what we need to build and what people want. And you're right. You're really seeing kind of this whole landscape really kind of define itself.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really feel is that, I don't think there's anything wrong with people from our scene who have had success collaborating with pop artists and going down that route. That I don't have any problems with that. I just, what I have a problem is when people do that and then they abandon the true fans or their fans that got them there in the first place. And I think that's one thing that I hope never it also is never forgotten is the true fans, the fans that were there at the beginning, the fans that have always been there supporting this scene, helping this scene grow. And I feel uncomfortable and hope that they don't get just pushed off to the side for a more commercial crowd. So, and I think that, the art of DJing is, you're able to not only do, in the middle of your set, you do your prime time peak hour hits, but when you are doing the long sets, then you can also focus on the hardcore fans, the fans that have always been there at the beginning.
Sure. And I think you kind of brought that up. It's an art form, and when you have the time, you can really make that work, and you can get that idea across. What happened? Was it last year with that 6-hour set at the Avalon, which really put you on the map in Los Angeles? I mean, you could not have gone into the night knowing that you're going to be up there for 6 hours.
Well, my goal is always to go long. I mean, I will go to any gig, any party, and I'm just like, hey, when they want me to, when the next DJ says, okay, it's my turn, then I'll get off. But if no one is around and the vodka is flowing, I'm still going.
Just make sure you don't leave Schulz up there with no timetable, because he will keep that party going.
Yeah, I'll just keep on going, and there's nothing more fun. Because you know what? As the night gets later, I think that's when people really just kind of like, okay, they lose their inhibitions. It's like, I've done the Dog and Pony show. I played all the tracks that all the hits that people heard on the albums and everything that that they came there for. And then the later it gets, it kind of like, the real people stick around, and you can really have fun. And I tell you, that's when you can really kind of, experiment. And I get excited for those kind of things. I get excited for trying something new, trying something different, and then watching it work. Because I'm a huge fan of this music as well. I mean, it's, I love to be taken away from the music too. And when I do the long sets, I can just kind of, relax at the end and just have a great time and appreciate the music as well.
That's good. And that's what the fans want, when they can connect to the DJ or to whatever artist it may be, and they feel like they're getting a genuine experience from that as well. That's when you get something really special. So,
when I used to do this residency at this club in Arizona called The Works, I was a resident there for 7 years, and that's kind of where I developed my style. And when we used to get into the after hours, and the later it got, the DJ booth was kind of close to the floor. I used to be I would put on a track, and I would get out of the DJ booth and go out to the dance floor and dance as well, because it was like, there's nothing like just getting carried away by the music as well, because it reminds me why I got into this scene in the first place. And, a lot of times, a lot of these DJs or producers that don't go out to the dance floor and experience it from that side of it are sometimes missing the point. There's nothing like being on the dance floor and experiencing it from that side.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there was a video that went kind of viral here in Los Angeles where Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, someone caught him. He was in the mosh pit at the Soundgarden concert at the Forum in Los Angeles, and it went viral. And that's what people want to see. They want to see that their artists that they connect to can do the same thing and has that type of appreciation for music as well.
Well, I remember Winter Music Conference 2001. I was at Space in Miami hanging out. Danny Tenaglia was playing, and I was on the dance floor, and on the left of me was John Digweed, and on the right of me was Carl Cox. And we were all just in the crowd dancing, and Danny Tenaglia was just like, he was a legend. He just, it just made the most amazing party. And I'll never forget that. And like I said, there's nothing like experiencing it from the other side.
So we'll go to the tracks. I think there's 3 original tracks from you on the compilation?
Yes, I always do the well, I don't always, but I do the intros to the compilations. Because see, if I say always, then next year I have to do the intros, and you never know.
Do it, yep.
Yeah, but no, I've always made the intros for the compilations. So both on CD1 and CD2, the intros, and then closing out CD1 as well. Is it CD1 or is it CD2? I forget now. Is a new track called Bolindish. It's very similar to my Dakota Alias tracks.
Sure.
But just putting it under my name is something a little unique. But it's a total after-hours type track, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with the Bolindish track, is kind of like, that experience of after hours at Avalon, at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. The Bolindish track, I think, captures that moment perfectly. So yeah, there was those 3 tracks are on the compilation.
Those 3 tracks, yeah, and I think you did the first 2 intros are under the San Andreas Sound Lab alias.
Yeah. I've always tried to come up with clever aliases for the intro, because to be honest with you, I don't want it to be Markus Schulz. It's so I came up with an alias for it, and but everybody knows that I do the intros, and San Andreas Sound Lab is me.
Now, that's a good question. Now, how do you determine what's going to go under Dakota and what's going to go under Markus Schulz? Actually, a fan on Twitter wanted to know that.
Well, yeah, I think that when I'm working on what it is I know that I'm going to work on a Dakota album. And I know that this year I'm working on a Markus Schulz album. So actually when I go into the studio, I have a different mindset. And the Dakota albums, when I go into the studio, I don't think about working with vocalists. I don't think about anything other than making tracks that will work on the dance floor. With the Markus Schulz albums, when I go into the studio to work on them, I think about like, okay, in this spot, I'm going to get a vocalist. We're going to do this, and the creation process is differently. So it's not like I go into the studio, just create a track, and then decide, oh, no, this is going to be a Dakota track. No, this is going to be a Markus Schulz track. I go in the studio with a certain mindset, and then tackle it in that way. And, working on the Markus Schulz tracks, I collaborate with singers and songwriters, and so it's obviously a much different production technique.
And I think with the announcement, I was watching the video as well, and I saw, and I couldn't help but notice it, that you had some flashes of San Francisco in there, and we have a pretty large contingency of Bay Area readers, and I think there was a large group of people that were hoping these album release shows were going to be happening at Ruby Sky. Do the San Francisco people have to wait a few more years? It looks like it's on the radar, but maybe not there yet.
No, I mean San Francisco. Come on, I've done enough. I've done more world tour shows from San Francisco on my radio show than probably anywhere in the world. So, San Francisco has my love for sure. But I think that the people in San Francisco will agree as well that what has happened in Los Angeles, the whole United States can be very proud, and I hope that people in San Francisco have pride in it as well, because the scene in San Francisco is fantastic. It's amazing. But the scene in San Francisco has been fantastic and amazing for the last 20 years, Yeah,
things have just changed so much in LA.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's what I really want to express, is that Los Angeles is it's something magical and unique has happened there. And we all should be proud of it because we all made it happen. The people, everybody from California over to New York, because when I play in Los Angeles, it's not just people in LA that are there. People from all over the world come to LA to experience the festivals. Now, people from all over the world are going to come to the release party at Avalon. So to me, it's a city that we can all kind of rally and around and be proud of, and it's also a great city to host friends that come from other countries.
It is, and that's part of the magic of LA. There's no shortage of flights to LAX from wherever you're at, so we're expecting a good turnout from all over the world, really, for these release shows.
Oh, fantastic, and I really appreciate that because, I don't want it to turn into a a regional like competition, because that's not what this is supposed to be about. Next year I might go to South America or go to Europe, but this is a city in North America that has gotten the recognition, and like I said, we should all be proud of it.
Of course, yeah. It's not a competition. It's an excuse for all your fans to pick one really cool place to go to every year to see you do something special.
Yes, for sure.
Great. So now that we got the tough questions out of the way, we're going to do what we always do here. 10 rapid response questions specifically designed by our team. We got editors, we have mathematicians, fans on Twitter. So obviously in no way is this scientific, but we'll give it a shot and see if we can find out who Markus Schulz really is in 10 questions.
All right. Let's see.
All
10 rapid-fire questions. Let's do it.
10 rapid-fire questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, that's what we need. All right. We'll start it off. Number 1, pool party or beach party?
Pool party. Beach parties,
right.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have to give excuses, right?
If you feel like you need to, but don't worry. I think I agree with you on the pool party. Favorite rock and roll band ever?
Pink Floyd.
All right. Favorite TV show, and you can give us a why on this.
Favorite TV show? Let me see. I'm going to go with Entourage. I mean, if you are in show business, whether it's music, movies, TV shows, you can relate to Entourage. It's my favorite.
All right. EDC or Ultra?
EDC. Now you can't do this to me, because Ultra is in my hometown, but EDC is the reason that I am where I am. I mean, it's been such a huge influence on my career, so that's a very tough one to pick. But yeah, that's a tough one.
I'll say this about Ultra: there is no other beach like South Beach in the United States. So that's where my heart is
and
right
that's
there.
what I mean. It's like if we're talking about strictly the festivals, I'm going to pick EDC, because EDC is one of the reasons that I've had such huge success in the United States. But Ultra is in my hometown, and there's nothing like Miami as far as hosting a party.
There's not. There really isn't. So, all right, let's see.
How about
this
EDC
one's,
in Miami?
We can do that. I think we can start that. Let's start getting that going. All right, this one's a trick. Here we go. Let's see. East of the 405 or west of the 405? This is very important, Markus.
All right. Well, listen, I live in Miami during the winter, and in the summertime I have a place in Berlin, and I live in Berlin. So I understand. It's like Miami, I've got the beaches, everything's beautiful, and in Berlin, it's a proper city, subways, everything. So I'm going to say this: west of the 405 in the winter, and in the summer. All right. In the summertime, yeah. No, it should be the other way around. I'm sorry.
Switch around, yeah.
West of the 405 in the summer, and in the winter, east of the 405.
I think we all can agree on that. We can all go for that. All right, this one, no, you can't give us a why. You just have to give us a straight answer. Clippers or Lakers?
Oh, I have to give you a why. I got to go with the Clippers.
We'll give you a why. Okay.
I grew up as a Celtics fan, and I don't think I could ever, I could never be. That'll never change. And then I moved to Arizona and I lived in Arizona for 10 years and was a huge Phoenix Suns fan. So you see where I'm going. Now I live here in Miami.
I see where you're going.
You know?
You got dedication. That's important. Don't worry.
But I'd go with the Clippers.
Okay, that's fair enough. Red wine or white wine?
Red wine.
Sushi or steakhouse?
Oh, sushi. Any day of the week.
Any day, all right. Halloween or New Year's Eve?
Well, those are both, they're both so similar. Those are the nights that the amateur partiers come out. There's only 2 nights a year when my parents go out and party, and that's on Halloween and New Year's Eve. So I'll pick, you know what? I'll pick Halloween only because I love the costumes, especially. It seems like that's the one night of the year when the girls can dress extra trampy.
They can do whatever they want, and it's totally
okay.
So that's all right. The last one: Eli Manning or Peyton Manning?
Oh, that's another trick question here because there's rumors now that the Miami Dolphins are trying to get Peyton Manning.
We know
So-
what we can do. We can wait, and we can do that in our follow-up
Yeah,
interview
I'm
to
gonna-
see what
I'm
happens
gonna-
next season.
No, I've never liked Peyton Manning, but if he's going to dress in if he's going to suit up in a Dolphins uniform, then he's my guy. Same as Shaq.
He's
I
the
never
guy.
really liked Shaq until he played for the Heat and then played for the Suns. Eli Manning until Peyton Manning suits up in a Dolphins uniform.
I like that. All right, there you go, Peyton. So we got to make sure this gets in front of Peyton so he can hear that. All right. Well, great. Thanks. That was awesome. Thanks for doing that. Rabbits Black's #1 DJ, if you ask us. The Los Angeles 2012 compilation comes out on February 17th, and I think there's tickets still available for the 19th. February 18th, I think, has been sold out for a long time. But
I think
yeah.
they said both nights are now sold out. So you're going to have to do some sneaking around to get some tickets, but they will have tickets at the door. So if you get there early
Exactly.
enough, you should be able to have no problems getting in.
Good, yeah, and this is really going to be one of those unique events that is going to be remembered as a quintessential moment in the history of the Los Angeles dance and music scene. And Marcus, thanks for doing that. Like I said, this is going to be a special moment. So, however you have to get in there, guys, get tickets, get in there, and don't miss this. So, Marcus, anything you want to leave us with?
I just want to thank all you guys for all your support, and I'm looking forward to an amazing release party on the 18th and 19th in LA, and lots more fun and excitement at Marquee the rest of the year.